Hello, people. I am thirteene, and we're playing another deck jank that's just full of jank. Tonight is going to be Liliana's Contract, and this is probably going to play out kind of similarly to Esper Highlander. I'm expecting some fun, interesting games, but overall, absolutely horrible power level. Liliana's Contract is the fun new win condition in Standard, and I'm trying to jank it out with a little bit of modern power here. So to start off, Liliana's Contract is 5 mana, and that's asking a lot in Modern. And it draws us cards and actually makes us lose life, so that's going to be a little hard to pull off. But if you take a second to kind of just like go over the deck for a moment, you can tell that there's a lot of one-ofs and a couple of two-ofs. So that's because Liliana's Contract cares about us having demons with different names. So really flavorful, really on point. If this goes absolutely horrible tonight, as always, Bell and Cannon is always an option. A lot of the strength of this deck is probably going to be sitting on Rexasha Death Dealer. Nimro, if you're out there, this one's for you. So this is going to be a 2-mana 2/2 Cat Demon. Demon being the keyword. Hopefully you'll be able to sit out there and chump block. We can just regenerate it. Worst comes to worst, we'll have a couple of beats going on. Then we have just a random slew of powerful demons. So Master of the Feast allows your opponent to draw cards, but a lot of decks just can't deal with a 5/5 flyer. This costs 3, Gurmag Angler usually costs 1, Gurmag Angler's on the ground, Master of the Feast is just a big fatty in the air. Hopefully he'll be able to get some work in. We are taking advantage of a couple of the pseudo-tribal cards, so we do have Skeletal Changeling as well as the Rexasha Death Dealer is just a cheap little guy that we can regenerate. He's not nearly as impactful, but he has a different name and is a demon. Then we have a couple of the Metallic Mimics and Adaptive Automatons. Again, these will enter as demons and have different names. We have a couple of the newer Powerhouse demons that are just great. Like, look at Doom Whisperer. It's 5 mana for a 6/6 Flampler, and you can pay life and start setting up the top of your deck. We will be hurting ourselves a little bit, but all this is going to be riding on the back of a couple of supportive cards in mono black. We end up getting Aether Vial, Fatal Push, Collective Brutality, Inquisition, and hopefully that's just going to round out to being a decent deck. We end up utilizing our graveyard a little bit with Soulflayer and Tombstalker, and we get a couple of really awkward demons like Desecration Demon, but I'm excited to see how this turns out. Like, I'm not expecting a lot of power, but like 3 Liliana's Contracts in Modern, like, what the heck are we going to be doing about that? Alright, so this literally has no creatures in it. But by the time that we draw a creature, we can hopefully put it in with Aether Vial. So I'm good to give this a shot. It's probably too slow to do anything, and I don't even know what we look like at this point. We probably look like zombies or vampires. Alright, opponent's starting on the swamp as well, and there goes our Fatal Push. They get to see our awful hand. Alright, so like right off the bat, we had a couple of detractors. Bradwan and Seraphix were both telling me this wasn't going to do anything. We have had 0 people advocating for it, so please let me know if you're advocating for it, because I'm really excited to see how this turns out. In the meantime, this is just not great. Okay, Mimic is fine. I would prefer to put Mimic in off of the Aether Vial, but basic Swamp into Inquisition is making me think Smallpox or potentially Mono Black Devotion. Smallpox, if I run out of creature that's just doing horrible, if I leave Mimic in hand, it's probably going to get discarded. I think I'm okay to let it get discarded, because that means that opponent's at least taking the turn off. If it's a Smallpox, I won't get 2 for 1. Alright, so this is looking a little bit more like... Oh, it's Mill. Alright. That was a mistake. I should have ran out the Mimic just so I could have some beats going on. Tombstalker. Alright, I don't want to fetch, otherwise they'll archive trap us. We can actually function with most of our deck not happening to fetch. If they force us to fetch with a Field of Ruin or something, then I guess they get their archive trap value off, but they still don't know what we're doing. And honestly, a Mimic... Oh, they're just cycling. They don't know what's going on. If we put in a Mimic off this Aether Vial and call a Demon, like, I'm feeling pretty good about the jank. There's Mesmeric Orb. Alright, so the longer that we can play off this Vial, the better. We'll only get milled for 1. Although, that's actually tempting. I can mill for a Tombstalker to get a good threat out there. I think I'm actually going to give them the ability to hit me with Archive Trap. Because by doing this, they can mill me, but I'm definitely getting Tombstalker out there. I do want the Overgrown Tomb so that I can grow the Rexosha Death Dealer should it come to it. Okay, that's fine. There's the Death Dealer. We will grow the Aether Vial. Doom Whisper is pretty decent. So Tombstalker costing 8 means that I have to shock in this Overgrown Tomb. Opponent's not going to kill us with regular damage, so that seems fine. I'm perfectly okay to get this going on. And I'm going to cast this pre-combat just for whatever reason. If they have a Surgical, they can't actually optimally cast it. The shenanigans, man, the shenanigans. It's amazing. It's so awesome. Alright, do I even want to cast a Liliana's Contract? Should I get the option? Okay, that's bad. That's really bad. I don't have an answer for that. Like, anywhere. So I guess I'm currently on the plan of win with Liliana's Contract. Alright, so Adaptive Automaton. This is awkward. Okay, so I'm going to Automaton pre-combat, get the additional damage in. It's going to call Demon. All my demons are going to get +1/+1. In some matchups, having a 7/7 flyer would just be fantastic, but not against Mill. Do they have push for my Mimic? Oh, they pushed the Automaton? Okay. Seems fair. That was actively hurting me under the Ensnaring Bridge. That's fine. So I'm probably going to untap, try to Liliana's Contract, put Doom Whisperer in off the Vial, and then I need to survive 2 more turns if that's the case. Okay, so at least 3 more. Liliana's Contract should at least draw me into a good threat. Definitely going up. Ah, Fatal Push. This all did rely on me drawing a land. I guess I get to push a crab if it comes to it. Until opponent actually runs out something along the lines of like Archive Trap or the Mill 20, they are actually going to mill out first. Ah, this could be so good in so many matchups. Collective Brutality. So I get to Drain and Duress. The Drain doesn't really do anything. I guess there could be an argument to hold on to the Fatal Push in case they crab, but it's fine. This allows me to surveil into a land for Liliana's Contract. Let's get a couple more surveils off. Surveiling against the Mill deck just feels awful, but I need to be able to hit a land, or at least something that can get me out of this. And Snaring Bridge is painful. Hardcast the Archive Trap. Seems good. Opponent's seen enough of our deck, they must know what we're doing. They did see the Liliana's Contract in hand. Take the Archive Trap. And things go downhill from here, so we're at least going to mill for 2. Okay, that's fine. I didn't expect to win that way anyway. So I need to set a stop on my turn so that I can mill my 2 and then try to surveil into a land. So put on top, put on top. This is just so bad. I got to draw 4 against the mill deck. That doesn't feel like winning. Also got to mill 5 on the backswing, which means I need to hit 2 cheap demons and have opponent whiff again. And I can't cast the Demon of Catastrophes. Oh boy. I guess I probably should have surveilled with the trigger on the stack. Now I'm going to mill 5. And this self-mills me for 4. Oh my gosh, so bad. So I did punt. I was supposed to surveil before the Liliana's contract comes down. My life total doesn't matter, but hitting 2 cheap demons would have won me the game. So I think I did punt for myself here. I can potentially... Yeah, graveyard, graveyard. Surveil again. Liliana's contract into a 2 mana and a 5 mana could still technically do it. So let's put this on... Well, this is going into the graveyard regardless, so let's put that on top. I can Liliana's contract. I think I had 1 more mana. This is probably just a lost cause. Inquisition, Collective Brutality. Yep. Nope, we're going to take the honorable way out. Yay! Alright, what do we care about here? Liliana, the Last Hope, doesn't really do anything. Indulgent Tormentor is in here so that we can draw cards or have them lose life. I don't think it's really going to survive that long. Leyline's not going to protect us from Surgical. If they didn't show us any Snapcasters, but this would stop Snapcaster. I honestly think we probably just want to go on the quickest threats we can possibly get. This is probably trim a Liliana's contract just because it costs 5 mana and is counterproductive to our strategy. Fatal Push is easily coming out. Just try to get in a couple of threats. Brutality can at least duress and get rid of something that mills. And like them sacking a creature's not going to do anything. There could be an argument to have something a little more in here for Crab. I think it's Hedron. Yeah, so it's a 0-2. My Collective Brutalities will kill it. Archfiend of Depravity is not going to do anything. Like, none of our Fun of Demons are actually going to be very impactful. So, probably just run it back, try to play a little bit faster. Don't keep a hand with 5 lands and a Liliana's contract. That's a bad 13. Bad. Why, deck? Why? Okay, this is fine. I actually should have had a push over a Dismember. I will keep the additional land, despite the fact it turns on Archive Trap. Aethervial comes down, and then the games begin. There's Krabby Boy. Alright, so let's go ahead and escalate Collective Brutality this turn. If they have the Archive Trap, it gets off here. Overgrown Tomb, so I can actually activate my Death Dealer. Easily paying the 2 life. Collective Brutality, 2 modes. We're going to Shrinky Dink the Crab, duress their hand, duress kill. Discard Dismember. They have a redraw, some life gain, and the Mill 10. So Mill 10's the most painful here. Oh, they're the Ensnaring Bridge. Yeah, this is looking bad. Visions is just going to help keep cards in their hand for the Ensnaring Bridge. The Crypt Incursions are awkward and aren't going to do a whole lot. I think I just take their Mill Engine and see what we can do. Such an awkward matchup. We should have beefy creatures, but with no way to answer the Ensnaring Bridge. I guess I needed to have a non-zero number of Assassin's Trophies or Abrupt Decays in the deck. All right, man. I should have cut that. All right, so opponent hasn't seen our hand. This Death Dealer instep's going to be mildly interesting. Yep, they just recycle the visions. And they found another crab. Awesome. There's the Field of Ruin. Come mill me, bro. This matchup is horrible. There's my Death Dealer. That's interesting. So, Indulgent Tormentor actually has a weird amount of reach here. I think I'm going to go ahead and get in with Hedron Crab and then just take a Crypticursion just to speed up the clock a little bit and kill the crab. I'll have Delirium, but I'll still have to mill 4 when this comes in, so that doesn't really seem that productive to me. Shrinky Dink Duress. Yeah, so awkward. I have a card that self-mills. This is also going to make it so that the Ensnaring Bridge can come down next turn and I won't be able to attack in. Oh, nope, I guess that's the Archive Trap. Since they have the Field of Ruin, that's a easy free mill 13. I guess there could have been an argument to try to just get out the 4-5 and attack in as fast as possible, but Indulgent Tormentor actually feels like it might do something here. Yep, desires the bridge. All right, now Aether Vial. What are we doing with our Aether Vials? So we have 4 4-drops, one of which is Abyssal Persecutor. Yeah, we're... Actually, I need to look at the 3-drops. Herald of Torment, Master of the Feast. Yeah, we're going to go up to 5. It's looking unlikely that we'll be able to do anything with this Indulgent Tormentor as it is. Get in with my Death Dealer. We will grow him. The Crypt Incursion makes the life total count a little awkward, but I'm doing everything I can here. And they found all their crabs. Fantastic. All right, so 4th land actually means that I can grow this guy twice, which feels relevant. Okay, it's going to get 2 things. So much life gain. Also means I can't attack, so it's looking like it's slipping. I'm trying to think what I could have had in here for Ensnaring Bridge other than Assassin's Trophy. Well, that makes it even harder. I probably shouldn't have cut the Liliana's Triumph since they were a way to actually win through an Ensnaring Bridge. I'm not going to be able to attack in anyway, so I may as well take the last Crypt Incursion. I'll play the land. It just allows me to multicast if I do actually find a Liliana's Triumph. Should have actually cracked my fetch while I knew they didn't have an Archive Trap. They're pretty close to hard casting anyway, but as long as I have to search, I may as well search. And of course they had it. Didn't matter anyway, they had the Field of Ruin, but... Alright, Master of the Feast is kind of something. This should have been another guy that I cut. It just isn't worth it. Now opponent gets to draw a card, and I pretty much get to draw a card. Just going to make it closer that I die, but I have to have demons on the table, so may as well start getting it out there. It might have been better sequencing to try to wait until I had 2 drops that I could go after. Oh, okay. My Liliana's contracts are out, and that's it. We're done. So that matchup felt abysmal. Mill is a 30-70 deck, pretty similar to Tron. They just do horribly against decks that can race them, and they stomp the decks that are doing something really stupid like us, that rely on something and honestly aren't built correctly. So currently 0-1, lost to Mill. Hero of Oxid Ridge. Can't say I've ever seen that one before. Alright, this hand is a turn 2 Mimic that's not going to do anything, and a turn 5 Doom Whisperer. Honestly, this is what most of our hands are going to look like in this deck, but I can do better. Okay, this is the Changeling into the Automaton that gets lorded, or the Master of the Feast and just gets some beats in. Fatal Push's interaction on turn 1. This is significantly better. Misty leads to several green decks. In fact, Vanafear Pod, anything with Chord in it. Apparently Misty's like the choice for off-color fetch in Elves. I don't know why, but I keep seeing those. Alright, Basic Island could mean turns, it could mean miracles, it could mean Opt's putting it as a spell-based combo. This is probably Narset pitch the way that this has been playing out. Nope, it's turns. Or tedious turns, as I like to affectionately call it. And opponent, what do you think of my Changeling? Master of the Feast is actually probably actively bad for me here. Them drawing cards is just going to let them start going tedious faster. Apparently that was worth the remand. I mean, it took us off curve, so I kind of get it. So my Fatal Push is basically dead. It can hit a Snapcaster or a... Huh. Well, it's not Teamer Scapeshift. I'm not sure what to make of this. Teamer is a really underrepresented color. I'm expecting a Cryptic Command in my future, which means it could be the old Teamer Cryptic list. I think they were running Scapeshift as an alternate win condition, but they'd need more mountains. I think I'm going to go ahead and drop the Automaton here. Just make the most efficient use of my mana and not allow them to start drawing cards, and then I'll just run out 2 Lorded creatures after this. Alright, they have their remands. I did mean to put some Caverns in this list, just because it would help so much versus controlless, and we're already going to be like super unfavored. Another Flooded Grove? Alright, let's try this again. Skeletal Changeling. And Death Dealer. Opponent, you have seen my jank. What do you think? Apparently they don't care. They're holding up Cryptic mana. It doesn't look like it, but they were holding up Cryptic mana. apparently my demons were not worth their time. And there's a Liliana's contract. So they can't spell Pierce Adaptive Automaton, so I'm going to... Yeah, whatever, the land's fine. I can't think of anything to play around other than Logic Knot, and we just can't get around that. Alright, it resolves. I don't know what's going on. Alright, what is my option here? So I can grow the Death Dealer, and they might bounce it with Cryptic. Hitting for 7 feels relevant. Being able to regenerate seems pretty good, but if they tap out on their turn for a big board clear, I can just slam Contract. Yeah, that seems fine. I'm going to get Forest here, just so I can double pay for Rexasha in future turns. If opponent literally has nothing going on, I think I can kill them next turn. I'm going to hit for 7, 9, 11. I'm 1 off. The fact that they found another mountain is kind of confusing me, as well as the island. Like, I keep expecting this to be Team or Scape Shift, but they haven't done anything to lead me there. So, Wilderness Wreck? No? Primetime? Farseek? Okay, so this is Team or Scape Shift, but opponent's on some random spice. Alright, am I just dead? This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's going to be 2 Valakuts, 5 triggers, 6 triggers times 3. Yep, I'm dead. Alright. Well, that's rough. So, let's see. What does this actually mean? It means that Collective Brutality is coming in again. I can drain as well as duress the Collective Brutality away. Leyline of the Void does nothing. Archfiend does nothing. Master of the Feast is actively going to hurt me. Liliana's too slow. Liliana's Triumph doing 4 damage to me. Just speeds up the clock. Fatal Push is atrocious, but what does that actually mean I'm bringing in? So Master of the Feast will just draw them their cards, but be a fast clock. That'll get them dead before they can Scape Shift because they have to make their land drops. All right. Well, night for awkward combo decks. This is fine. I'm going to drop to 18, which is going to be their 7 mana kill, and then I can Collective Brutality to get back above it. Again, should have taken the Dismember out. It just hides in there at the 3 drops. Mismatch Misty. Search for Tomorrow. Alright, that's one of their fastest starts. So I'm not going to have another 2-drop, which means I am doing this now. I'm going to do both of these, choosing you twice, discard the Dismember. They have a Tribe Elder, an Opt, and another Surge. So Surge actually gets them the land, so that's a pretty easy take there. Surge is coming down next turn. There's the Tribe Elder. Collective Brutality is not going to do anything productive here, so I guess just run out my land and get ready to flash in Death Dealer in step. Yep, you'll have 5 mana next turn, opponent. I think they still have a forest in hand. Nope. They had the other Misty. Alright, well, it's going to be nice not getting my creatures remanded. The entire point of the Death Dealer was it was a 2-mana threat, not a turn 4 threat after getting remanded twice. Alright, so first things first, duress. See if they drew action, otherwise attack for 4. I should have ran out the land first in case they had a bolt. Alright, Mr. Cat Demon, go get some beats in. Unfortunately, I don't think Doom Whisperer is going to go the distance. I can only grow one more time next turn, which means I hit for 4, and then... Oh, another green source would actually be lethal. Opponent's only going to have 6. Actually, they'll have a turn to kill me. No, because I'm at 20, so they need a ramp spell and escape shift. That does fog a combat step, though. Alright, and part of the awkwardness of Aether Vial in this deck is like usually Merfolk knows to stop on 2, humans usually knows not to go above 3, but I've got to go all the way up to 5 with this thing. So, yay. Well, that's an Urborg, which means that I can just hard cast Doom Whisperer and then set up my last draw. Yes, just as expected. Now they get a Saki, go get a land. That means I get 2 Doom Whisperer. So at their instep, when it's no longer safe for them to cast Scape Shift, I can pay the 2 life to go to 18 and actually set up a winning draw, which is probably just a green source at this point. I guess it depends on what opponent has. They could always have Cryptic, so the safe play is not to pay life. Oh, they seriously have 8? Are you... Where did they get 8? Oh, because they sacked the Tribe Scout. Well... Awkward plays versus combo. So I think we're going to play one more. If it goes just as horribly, we can Bell and Cannon. Alternatively, we could just call it there, seeing as the fact that there's nobody watching. There was nobody supporting this deck, but it sounded like fun, so I wanted to do it. Team Escape Shift is also on my kind of long list for decks I want to play. Used to be in flavor, but not anymore. I'm on the play. Whatever. It's just another terrible hand that we're going to have to keep. We could mulligan down to an Aether Vial, but we've seen how awkward the Aether Vial draws are, so... Make opponent think we're on a slow start for Rock or Jund. Bloodstained Mire, fetch a Mountain. Might mean burn. Faithless Looting, so probably mono red, Phoenix, or Hollow one. There's a Bloodghast. Oh, it's Dredge. So this Master of the Feast is like crazy awkward. They just get to start dredging whenever they feel like it. Alright, well a 5/5 actually does stop just about everything that they're trying to do except for Conflagrate, so I'm kind of on board just to run it out. I actually might need to go grab my phone after this. I'm technically on call, but I don't have my phone with me. Oh, I'm still getting my... oh, yeah, that doesn't work. When we move to sideboards, I'm going to have to AFK for just 1 second while I go find it. Ugh. Another prized amalgam. Another prized amalgam. Well, they didn't find anything that can come back from the graveyard. Well, there's a creeping chill. But for the time being, these are still stuck in graveyard. We have a very beautiful 4 ley lines in the sideboard for this matchup. I guess they did get 1. And that's going to trigger at my end step now. Alrighty then. So go get my overgrown tombs. Untap, give them a way to dredge at my upkeep, because that's the kind of guy I am. Helping you out, dredge. Not that you need it. Meanwhile, opponent's like, what the heck? They had 2 Verdant Catacombs and now there's a Master of the Feast. Me taking 8 here means that all Bloodghast that they dredge are going to be hasty, as well as Creeping Chill's just going to be able to kill me. And the last prize amalgam's coming back. They have gone through half their deck. Odds of seeing all 4 is kind of low, but they also only found 1 Bloodghast and 1 Narcomoeba and 1 Creeping Chill, so kind of makes sense. Dackmore Salvage. I feel like this has fallen out of flavor lately. I think it's just a little too slow. Dredging 2 doesn't really accomplish a whole lot, and you typically don't need the black mana to cast Bloodghast anymore. The games you win, like game 1, is just such a landslide that you just need more cards that are beneficial post-sideboard. Show me the Conflagrate! Oh, another Cathartic Reunion? So I'm going to see my opponent's entire deck here and then die to the Creeping Chill triggers. Well, there's the Conflagrate. I'm going to be taking 8. Pretty sure I'm just dead on table, but I have a lot of singletons and I kind of don't want to think through my list. A 3 mana 5/5 should do a little bit more than block a single creature. But what you gonna do? Opponent gets to dredge. They're gonna hit their Creeping Chills and kill me. Found 1 Creeping Chill, which means the other 2 are in the bottom 6. Great. Alright, so I'm going to see what they do, and then kill myself and go grab my phone. They just take their natural draw. So confident. Surprise, Manamorphose to settle the wreckage. I would be so happy. Oh, you're really going to play around it? Alright. Yeah, that's what I thought. So this is a pretty easy 4-in. This is also probably a pretty easy trim of Inquisition and probably Demon of Catastrophes. This is just a cute one of that you can put on Vial pretty quickly for a massive 6/6 Flampler. Abyssal Persecutor, we're probably going to win through an unconventional way, and they're not going to be able to answer it, or I'm not going to have a way to sack it without the Demon of Catastrophes in. So I am going to put myself on mute for a second, go locate my phone. I think it's in my car. I will be back before the start of the next round. Just kidding, it was in the other room. All right, we would love to take the play. This has a ley line and 3 mana, but nothing castable. Just lovely, just lovely. Oh boy. All right, whatever. So, seeing as how nobody's on the stream, I think I'm good to call it Bell and Cannon from here. Um, Actually, I might just play one more, so I can at least. I'm gonna try to at least get one. Actually, 2 wins will get me my some amount of cash back from a friendly league. So, I guess we can at least just try to rule that out since we don't have to Bell and Cannon at this point. And this is atrocious, but I think all hopes were given up around the second match, so let's give this a shot. Hey, he's got Mowu. Alright, so the Burn deck versus the slow self-depreciating Demon deck. This seems good. Master of the Feast is just going to draw them into 3 mana burn spells, so... Oh, and it's Phoenix. On the plus side, I have a lot of flying things that can kill Phoenixes. On the other hand, I'm probably taking like 11 right now. Manamorphose Tron, 3 in the top 9. Do it again, opponent, do it again! Alright, so they didn't discard 2 Phoenixes, so we're likely taking 9 here if they have a bolt. Oh, they don't, so we're only taking 5. Alright, well, in 4 turns we get to do 4 damage to ourselves. Yes, I'd like to pump that up. It's so bad. So very, very bad. Alright, so I guess I get Fatal Push if they start having an explosive start again. If they end up just getting a Phoenix back, then probably kill the Phoenix. I don't know, opponent is kind of running out of gas here. Getting a moderate-sized Flying Demon might actually be able to accomplish something. This is an awkward mid-range deck. It should beat anything low to the ground, but opponent's also kind of a strange hybrid combo deck. They found the 4th Manamorphose in the top 13. I'm impressed. I mean, clearly you didn't find Phoenixes, you just have a number of mountains, but I'm impressed. There's the Lava Spike. Now, Faithless Looting. Close. Revealing a Soulscar Mage and a Light Up the Stage. Well, I get to save 4 damage here. That's kind of nice. I got stuff going for me. Alright, so best draw is probably one of the regenerating demons for 2 mana. Death Dealer is at least 2 toughness. It's not going to do much versus the Soulscar Mage when they just get to put -1/-1 counters on it, but they're looking at a little bit of card advantage coming up as well as the Soulscar Mage. Something along Master the Feast would probably be alright too, because this is going to come down slow and then I can flash block with it. Okay, so there's a Death Dealer, that's fine. Potentially needing to get up to the 5 mana here, I'm going to play this tapped. It doesn't matter for my actual resources. I can flash it in, grow it, regenerate it, whatever I've got to do. Yep, there's Soulscar Mage. And a lightning bolt pointed at me. And they're going to spectacle this. There it is. Another light up the stage and bolt. Okay. He gets to come down. So I can stop ground damage. This Abyssal Persecutor is going to make it really hard for opponent to do anything. We're also going to have to find a way to get rid of him before I can actually win the game myself. Haha! Didn't see that coming, did you, opponent? In case they have a hasty threat, I'm just going to stay on defense. The bolt's probably pointed at the Death Dealer, which is why I didn't bother trying to leave up mana for him. Then they're not going to be able to attack in until they figure out how to kill the Persecutor. Yep, they're just going to try to reach over me. That's fine. Another light up the stage. For Arc-like Phoenixes. Okay, so opponent's deck was stacked. Like, kind of in a good way and kind of in a bad way, but it was stacked. They also found all of their light up the stages. All 4 of them. Well, that's the game right there. Alright, Urborg doesn't really do anything. Sure, let's get our attacks in. I can send a message and hit them for 12, but that does nothing productive. Opponent's trying to figure out if I have something. Because a smart man would have conceded like 3 turns ago. I really don't want to show them the Liliana's contract, so I'm just going to run out the Verdant Catacombs and after the first one kill myself. Haha! I did damage to opponent. It was just slow and painful. I guess we were representing something really weird and awkward off this 4 vial. Yeah, you can do it. I want to go out on my own terms. Go out for a walk in the forest and die because I can't figure out what's going on. Lily's Triumph comes in. Brutality easily comes in. I've actually been told, and this is probably why I struggled with the Phoenix deck so much, that Leyline of the Void is not what you want to be doing, especially in the mono red version of the deck. I do want Last Hope, seems relevant enough. Dismember, hurting my own life total seems bad, but if they end up spending like 3 cards to get a Phoenix and I can just kill it, that probably seems fine. These cards probably just shouldn't be in my deck. Sorry, the catastrophes. Yes, they can come in off of a vial and do something kind of impactful, but that's whatever. Indulgent Tormentor dies to the Phoenix. Master of the Feast can block very profitably, and a lot of their cards aren't super impactful. They can chain a lot together, but they don't do much by themselves, especially if I'm holding the removal. Liliana's contract actually seems like it might work here, but as I stated before, the Tormentor, this is not the matchup. This is for control. Doom Whisperer also might be a little bit on the slow end. Having one as a unique demon is probably alright. Herald of Torment losing me life seems quite bad, and also dies to a Phoenix. Probably just trim a Mimic because it's not a unique name, same with the Changeling. They're not going to be able to regenerate through a Soulscar Mage as it is, so there's no point just throwing them in the line of fire because they're undervalued cards. This is actually like the best curve we've had with this deck, so yeah, we'll hang on to that. There's no Vial, but I'm also not positive that Vial's a card I actually want in my deck at this point. The number of times it's been an awkward number and I didn't know what to take it up to should probably just be telling me that that's not something I want to be doing. And opponents trying to figure out if their hand can actually get pieced together. Typically when they do that, like, I think I want them to keep it because clearly it's not quite there yet, but it's close enough that they don't want to ship it back. It's always a weird thing looking at the other side of the table and watching your opponent struggle and being like, I don't know what they want to pick. Like, I understand I don't have the full information, but it's still just like, there's a couple of different directions that you could go with that. These brutalities should really help pick apart their hand. The way it's currently looking, I'm not even sure what I want to discard. I'm likely taking whatever creature they have. If they have Gut Shot, they get me, but that's fine. Still taking 2 cards out of their hand at that point. Alright, so 2 modes. We're going to kill your dude and duress you. We can discard... I'm not going to cast Mimic anytime soon. Do you have the Gut Shot? Nope. Oh, wow. What did we play that made them think they want Forked Bolt? We put a 5/5 demon out. Alright, so their next turn is going to be Swift Spear, probably with Lava Spike. Forked Bolt is a sorcery, so I don't have to worry about instant speed shenanigans. Lava Spike deals the most. Also, like, so happy I discarded the X1 against the double Force Forked Bolt hand. I honestly have no idea why they kept that. That looks like it was an inclusion over Gut Shot, so... Alright, so I'm taking 4 here. Gonna untap and collect a Brutality, discarding a Aether Vial at this point. Kill their dude, at least take their last Fork Bolt. Hey, look at that, Lightning Bolt. Dang, it feels good to be a gangsta. Alright, so next turn is just a basic with Adaptive Automaton. Then I'm drawing live to a lot of our demons. Like, anything that can successfully block an Arclight Phoenix is just winning. Yeah, you firing off a Forked Bolt is not productive. This is not great. So... I think I'm still on Adaptive Automaton here. But I'm doing it because I can actually regenerate the Death Dealer on the way back. So like I can set it up on defense, and then if they miss their land drop or run out a little tiny dude, then Death Dealer can at least grow and defend. Yep, that's fine. That's actually a fantastic draw. It lets me set up for a... I can go get a duel if I need to, but not actually take the shock. Opponent only has the Arc Light in hand, which means I'm drawing live to anything that flies. And like at the current moment, I can grow this twice, so I'm representing 9 damage on the backswing. Opponent's on a 2-turn clock. There is some power to this deck, but it does feel like it's a turn too slow. Hardcast Light up the stage. They get a Finale of Promise and a Swift Spear, which means my next turn is going to be slightly awkward. Alright, so that's fine. What do I want to do with this? So I can hit them for 9, but they're going to Finale of Promise for 1. Which means that they get their Lightning Bolt. Or if they draw a land, they can Finale for 2. Alternatively, they're just going to Swift Spear, and they have a couple of different options. I'm just going to swing out and see what they have on the back end while holding up a Dismember or a Regenerate. Then this way, if I handle their creature in top deck a land, I can just kill them. Grow their Exhaustia 3 times. Alright, Finale of Promise here can be for 2. They can kill my Adaptive Automaton and shoot me for 3. They can just hardcast the Phoenix, but I'll kill them. For Lava Spike and Lightning Bolt. Seems fair. So Swift Spear's off the table. They just have the Arc Light in hand. I'll have hardcast Dismember up. Ah, they're just targeting me. Alright. So I'm pretty sure land's still lethal. Alright, so get +6/+6, hit for 11. Seems good. I mean, that's the first game we've won so far. I really don't think that I want to change anything up. Liliana the Void, like, absolutely would have done nothing there. Mimic dying to Forked Bolt makes me think that that's even worse. Although, I need to keep a little bit of my curve lower. I'm not going to pay the Bestow. I don't want to lose the life. Opponent actually has shown that they really want to go for face. Like, I can just keep a Mimic. It at least profitably sets up a block for a Swift Spear or the other guy. This is fine. This is all of our removals, some Inquisitions. Like, this is all the interaction. Then hopefully I just draw into a big demon dude. Alright, so they're not going to have any counter magic, which means I'm on Fatal Push, but they've got to actually commit into the Swift Spear. Oh, they're trying to go for the Phoenix out? Alright. They did find a Phoenix. That's a Lava Spike. And they do have the gut shots. So I'm going to take a bit of a beating here. Collective Brutality still going to be live, probably discarding the Automaton at this point. I'm completely expecting an opponent to have sorceries and instants in hand. So drain you, duress you. You, that. Black, black. The Inquisition. I think it's least likely to hit. Yep, take your bolt, and now you're on nothing. I'm on 12. So that's all I knew about. Construct. All right. Well, I can full price the Dismember. I don't actually know what's an opponent's hand. This is going to be a 4/4 when I run it out. So sequencing here is I'm going to swing in. If they try to block and do something fancy, then I can just Dismember it. Full cost. If they don't, then I'll just run out a 4/4 Torment that they won't be able to answer. This is actually putting a clock on myself because they can just shoot a couple of points of burn at my face, but I'm also swinging back at them for 6 a turn now, which means they're on a 3-turn clock. And they had nothing in hand last I checked. Yep, I lose a life, that's fine. Here, same logic, I get a hold up Dismember and then run back a creature afterwards. Not having that second green's quite bad for the Death Dealer, but it being a 3/3 is already a decent starting point. Opponent showed us red, red. Yeah, I'm perfectly okay with that. Opponent didn't think that I had removal. So do I have lethal now? I'm hitting for 11. Nope, opponent's going to be left at 1. Green source is lethal. Hardcastle light up the stage, looking for a land and a bolt. Oh no, just flashing back Faithless Looting. Discarded 2 lands. Seems fine. Alright, they have to have double gut shot to kill me here. Or to survive here. This is a little bit more what I expected it to look like. And we did take a game, so I guess queue up for the last one and see if I am actually king of the 2-3 bracket. Like, that felt like a moderately decent showing. So a couple of things that we did find out is that excuse me. So the Demon of Catastrophes is actually incredibly awkward. I probably need a little bit more 1 CMC interaction and rely a little bit less on Liliana's contract. It can be a fun win condition, but shouldn't be the primary game plan. Should have kept the 7 with the Leyline against Dredge, but honestly didn't think it mattered. Alright, Island. We look like Jund. This Fatal Push probably just lost a ton of value. I am actually going to start on the Mimic. It says the most about what we're doing, but... Oh, they had a Spell Snare? Snare me, bro. That's fine. They don't know what we're doing yet. Spell Snare also likely means Miracle, so we're going to need one of our threats to actually stick around. Yeah, that's not going to cut it. So let's go ahead and just run this out tapped and confuse opponent further. Apparently only one spell snare. Spell Snare is such an awkward card. I've gone through phases where I'm like, it's the best card in Modern. It's a 1-mana counter spell. But then I've gone through phases where I'm like, it literally doesn't do anything. Bounce it. Ah! Ooh. Is that a good one? That looks like a good one. Alright, so opponent has Supreme Verdict / Wrath of God mana. But I can regenerate, so that doesn't seem great. Let's send you it to Fairy and you at opponent. Okay. Opponent, did you not read my cards? They say regenerate. I'm actually going to let the Changeling go here. Because if they have another Wrath, I want to make sure that my Death Dealer survives it. Yeah, the extra 1 damage doesn't mean anything. Oh, creatures can't be regenerated. Derp to derp. 13, you should know better than that. Slap yourself. That was sad and pathetic. Alright, so I think right now I'm reading this as run out Tomb of Arami and instep make the demon. Just so I can say I've actually done it and see what the token looks like. Yeah, that's a bad card. Oh, opponent! I was gonna make the token! I'm not showing you my deck. Main deck Surgical Extraction? Shame on you. You don't run discard. You're not supposed to do that. Alright, Collective Brutality comes in. Indulgent Tormentors come in. Liliana comes in just because it's hard for them to deal with Planeswalkers. Master of the Feast comes out. Herald of Torment's fine. Dismember comes out. Fatal Push gets trimmed. Doom Whisperer is card quality. Mind Rack is fine. Desecration Demon is just a threat. Demon of Catastrophes comes out, as does Persecutor. This just seems so cute. I wanted it to work, but it didn't. Alright, what is this? This is slow, uncastable garbage. This is basically what we hope for. And sadly, I think I need a third land. Yeah. Stuff and things. I actually decided I don't want the third land. I'll eventually draw into one, and I have multiple 2-drops for the moment, so I'm just going to try to stay on tempo. Opponent's paused my upkeep. Really don't know what that means. Alright, Verdant Catacombs is going to get another green source, so for now I'm just going to duress. Alright, well, that's a control hand. It has blue and white cards in it. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do this. No, I want that. And make the play that hasn't paid off once. there's a Teferi. So opponent showing us one of the ops, the island. Let's stress you. They've just drawn all lands? Alright, well I guess I take the creature removal and run back out the Metallic Mimic. So, mildly awkward seeing blue-white control in the 1-3 bracket. Yep, you got it, opponent. Hmm. I know 3 get cards in their hand, but I feel like I'm getting baited right now. I'm just going to go for the high upside play. It also would have been appropriate to try to duress and figure out what they have in their hand and run out of mimics, so I end up getting a 7/7 Desecration Demon, but it honestly doesn't matter at this point. Alright, opponent has actually shown us a Condemn, so I want to take a look. Okay. Still got rid of a card that I might have cared about. They played the Celestial Colonnade. So they have 2 cards I don't know about. I'm going to still try to kill Teferi. Really? Oh, that is so heartbreaking. Alright, well, let's try it again. And there's Jace. Jace bounced the Mimic. Interesting. Alright, well, there's the Hollowed Fountain. So let's just run back out the Mimic. We're going to call Demon again, getting really sick of typing that in. We're going to run out the Changeling. It's going to be a 2/2. We'll run out Urborg just because I really don't care anymore. And let's see what you got, opponent. Yep, at the risk of killing your Jace, you get both my Mimics. I guess they can activate Colonnade, so it wasn't that risky. Oh, no, they can't. Alright. And that's good enough for me. All right, so class, what did we learn? Saffron always says that, and I never really understood why. But what did we learn today? We learned that 5-mana enchantments that do nothing are nothing to build a deck around. We also learned that Highlander is good and interesting for trying out new cards in an archetype, but it's not great for a deck strategy. There's a reason demons aren't played, and it's because there are a couple of good ones. Like Doom Whisperer is a 5-mana threat. Like it's probably not going to rotate into modern, but it's 5 mana for 6/6 Flampler. With when it's in the battlefield, if they interact with it at that point, you could still get some value out of it. Master of the Feast, giving your opponent a card is just crazy awkward. We're letting our opponent dredge with Master of the Feast. That was absolute garbage. We did have some pretty decent black cards that rounded it out and allowed us to actually beat the mono red uh, Phoenix deck. Couldn't think of the word. So, like, there's some stuff there. We played an awful lot like a mid range deck. We were basically bad junt, like super bad junt. Some of our cards had 2-for-1 capabilities, like the Death Dealer. We were able to squeeze out a couple of tight plays with Fatal Push to keep our Lord alive, but overall, this is just a train wreck, disaster, crash. Oh, the humanity. But, you got to try some fun stuff sometimes. And unfortunately, no Liliana's contract kills tonight. We did cast it a couple of times versus Mill, but that just ensured that we died. And I think that's about it. Like, this is going in the loser pile. I actually feel like we've done kind of okay. I wouldn't say 2-3 brackets a loser pile, but they lead to interesting games, and this was just us getting curb stomped over and over and over, and my teeth hurt at this point. So let's go ahead and put it away. Thanks for watching, everyone. Should be back Wednesday for a counter all the spells deck. I don't know what to call it, but we're basically just going to be trying to use Saheeli and Tauron to get a bunch of tokens whenever we counter a spell and get incidental card advantage that way. So I'm excited to try that one out, and thanks for watching.